let's go to page 204. Start with number 1. Okay, we have x minus 2 times x minus 5 is less than 0. Okay, so the right side equal to 0, so that's good, and this is factor, so everything's all good, so we can get a 0 right away. So this will be the 2, and this will be the 5, right? When you put a 2 over here, it will give you 0. Put 5 in here, it will give you 0. Okay, and now to find the shape, right? This is x times x. This will give you x squared. So your shape will look like this. Okay. Okay, so let's go and sketch. So that's 2 and 5, and the graph is going to look something like this. Okay, and again, you have to think of this as a y. So y is less than 0. Okay, so the part that y equals less than 0 is this right over here. Okay, and so your answer would be, and these are inequality, right? So it would be open circle. So it would be 2 is less than x less than 5. Okay, and that's it. Okay, number 3. Okay, we have x squared minus 4 is less than or equal to 0. So you can first make the right side equal to 0. Next, you have to factor this. So step 1, common factor cannot. Step 2, this is 2 times of step 2b and 2a. Step 2a is your conjugate, right? So it would be x, 2, 2, right? Okay, so your zeros are, from here you're going to get negative 2, right? Negative 2 plus 2 give you 0. Over here would be positive 2. Okay, so again, when you sketch, you're going to get negative 2 and positive 2. Now, because this is the x squared, the shape is going to look like smiling face. Okay, so it's going to look like smiling face. Okay, and again, you have to think of this as your y, right? This whole thing is your y, so it's y less than or equal to 0. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. You're looking for less than 0, less than or equal to 0, so it's this part right over here. Okay, so this is the part that you want. So for this part, your answer would be negative 2, less than or equal to, you have to follow the same inequality, right? Less than or equal to x, less than or equal to 2. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, got z squared minus 4z is greater than 0. Okay, so first make sure the right hand side equal to 0. Next, you have to factor this. So step 1, common factor. So you can make sure you go through the steps of factoring. Okay, so that's it. So your zeros are, now this z is not this z, okay, this is zeros. So it'd be, from here you're going to get 0, from here you're going to get 4. Okay, so your sketch, if you sketch it out, now by the way, the highest degree is square, right, z squared. So again, your shape is going to look like that. Because it's a positive square, so it looks like that. Okay, so your critical points of the zeros are 0 and 4. And it's going to look something like this. Okay. And again, you have to look at this as a y. Okay, so you got y greater than 0. Okay, so y greater than 0 is this part right over here. Okay, so those are the y greater than 0. And so now you have to switch back into the x or the z. Okay, so in this case, you're going to get z is less than 0, or, right, this part is z less than 0, or z is greater than 4. And you can try, right? You can try see if it works, right? If you try like a z greater than 4, so try let z equal to 5. So 5 times 5 minus 4, which is 1. So 5 times 1 is 5 greater than 0. So it's true, right? Okay, so you can put in some numbers in here to check, okay? Okay, number 7. You got 4y squared is greater than or equal to 36. Okay, so first you have to make the right hand side equal to 0. So minus 36 on both sides. So you got 4y squared minus 36 greater than or equal to 0. Okay, now notice all these are multiple 4s, but so instead of factoring out the 4, you can just divide everything by 4, divide the whole thing by 4. Okay, so that way you can lower your number. So you get y squared minus 9 equated equal to 0. 0 divided by 4 is still 0. Then you do the factoring. So step 1 cannot. Step 2, that's your conjugate, right? So it'd be y plus 3, y minus 3. Okay. Then your zeros would be negative 3 and positive 3. Again, negative 3, right? When y equal to negative 3 plus 3 give you 0, or when y equal to 3, 3 minus 3 give you 0, right? So what you do is set this equal to 0 and you solve. Okay? Most of the time when it's simple case like that, you see that just the opposite, right? Okay, so when you sketch it out, you're going to get negative 3 and 3. Now, because this is the highest degree, now you have to be flexible with the variables. Right now, this is y, so you kind of have to use a different variable, okay? And so just use a different variable. Just you can use any variable. I'm just going to call it a, okay, greater than or equal to 0. So a is a function of that. Again, be flexible with a variable, okay? And so your graph, you're looking for greater than or equal to 0. So it's the upper part. So when it's greater than, so now instead of x, this is the y. Okay, so we're using the y and the a. So you have to be flexible with your variable. So instead of using x and the y, right now we're using y and the a. Okay, so be flexible with it. Okay, so for this part, you're going to get y is less than or equal to negative 3, or, right, when you have two different parts, you need to have an or. Y is greater than or equal to 3. Okay, so you can be flexible with the variable you're using. Don't always get stuck with x and the y. Okay, okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, number 9, you have x squared minus 5x plus 4 less than 0. So first, make sure this side equal to 0, so that's good. Now this side, you have to make sure it's factored, but it's not, so you have to do the factoring. So go to the step 1, no, step 2, step 3, then you have to do step 4. So you have to add to get the negative 5, you have to multiply to get 4. So in this case, you need to use negative 1, comma, negative 4. So that's the 1. Okay. Okay, so you can do the factoring. So because the coefficient is 1, so whatever you have, you can just put in here. Okay, so your zeros, your critical values are 1 and 4. Right? When you put 1 over here, 1 minus 1 gives you 0. If you put 4 over here, 4 minus 4 gives you 0. Okay, so you're going to get 1 and 4. And again, because this is the x squared, so the shape looks like a smiling face. Okay. Okay, so now again you have to treat this as a y, right? Because y is a function of x. So the y is less than 0, and so y is less than 0, so that would be this part right over here. Okay, because remember this is positive y, this is negative y. Okay. So from here, again, this is an open circle. So you're going to get 1 is less than x less than 4. Okay. So you can, that's your x. And so from 1 through 4 for the x, the y would be negative. Okay, number 11. You got t squared is greater than 9t minus 2. Okay, so this one we have to undo the factoring. This factoring is no good because it's not, it's not equal to 0, right? So let's go and undo the factoring, move everything over, then redo the factoring. So you got t squared is greater than 9t minus 18. Right? Distribute. So undo the factoring. Okay, now we're going to move everything to the other side. We want to make this side equal to 0. So minus 9t plus 18 plus 18. So we get t squared minus 9t plus 18 is greater than 0. Okay. So now this is the t squared, so the graph is going to look like a smiling face, right? Okay. Okay, so let's go and do the factoring. So you have to add to get the negative 9. You have to multiply to get the 18. Okay. So if you start with 1 and 18, positive and positive will not add to get you the negatives. You have to use negatives. Okay, so negative 2, comma, negative 9, negative 3, comma, negative 6. Okay, so that's it. Okay. So break down the t. So t times t give you t squared. And the coefficient is 1. So whatever you see is whatever you put down. So minus 3, minus 6. Okay, so your critical value or your zeros are the 3 and the 6, right? Again, when t equal to 3, 3 minus 3 give you 0, right? So substitute this into it will give you the 0. Substitute this into it will give you the 0. So again, you're going to get a 3 and a 6, right? And again, you're going to get a smiling face, okay? So your graph is going to look something like this. Okay? So again, it's just a sketch to help you to visualize. Okay, so again, you're looking for the y greater than 0, right? That's what you're looking for. Again, remember, y is a function of x or the t or whatever the other function you're using. Okay, so you're looking for greater than 0, so you're looking for the upper part, this part over here of the graph. Okay? Now you have to switch back. Now for this upper part, this is when t is less than 3. Okay? Or this part over here is t is greater than 6. Okay. Let's go to the next one. You have 4z times z minus 1 is less than or equal to 15. Okay, so this is not equal to 0, so the factoring is no good. So you have to undo the factoring, make it equal to 0, and do it, refactor. Okay, so you're going to get 4z squared minus 4z, you have to distribute, is less than or equal to 15. And then you have to minus 15 on both sides. So you're going to get 4z squared minus 4z minus 15 is less than or equal to 0. Okay. And your next step is you have to factor this. Okay. Well, this is a z squared, so your graph again is going to be a smiling face, right? Or it's like smiling. Okay, so that's going to do the factoring. So you need to add to get a negative 4. You have to multiply to get negative 60. Okay, so start with 1 comma negative 60, 2 comma negative 30, 3 comma negative 20, 4. Now this is twice as that, so this would be half of that, would be negative 15. Okay, 4, 5, negative 12. Okay, and you go 6, again use the 3. So this is twice as that, so this would be half of that, so it would be minus 10. And this is it, right? Okay. So you start with z and 4z. Okay, now 4 times something not going to give you the 6. So 4 times something not going to give you the 10. So none of this is going to work. So this is not going to work. So you have to try the next option. So try 2z and 2z. So this one, it doesn't matter which one, right? So this one you can just go and make this equal to inside. So in this case, both will work. Either one will work. So that's kind of nice. So it'd be plus 3. 2 times 3 give you 6. And this would be the outside. So 2 times minus 5. 2 times negative 5 give you negative 10. Okay, so now this is not as obvious. So what you need to do, you need to find the zeros. I'm going to skip a little space over here. So to find the zeros, you just set them equal to 0. Okay. So set equal to 0, and then you solve, right? So minus 3. So you got 2z equal to negative 3. Divide by 2, divide by 2. So z equal to negative 3 over 2. Okay, this one over here, the zeros, you plus 5 on each side. So you get 2z equal to 5, divide by 2, divide by 2. So z equal to 5 over 2. So those are the two values that you need to graph. Okay, so you're going to get negative 3 over 2 and 5 over 2. And your graph is going to look something like this. Okay, now again, go back to over here. You have to think of this as like your y. So y is less than or equal to 0. Okay? So you're looking for the lower part. So you're looking for this part right over here. Okay? Because you have to be less than or equal to 0, right? So you're looking for the lower part. Now you have to switch back to the z, right? The variable. So you're going to, and this is going to be the closed circle. So you're going to get negative 3 over 2 is less than or equal to z, less than or equal to 5 over 2. Right, just match that up, and that's your answer. Okay, let's go to the next one. You have t squared plus 16 greater than or equal to 8t. Okay, so from here, again, you have to make it with 0, so minus 8t minus 8t. And you're going to get t squared minus 8t plus 16 greater than or equal to 0. So again, because it's a square, so again, the graph's going to look like this. Okay, that's going to be like that. Okay, now when you're doing the factoring, okay, so step 1, common factor cannot. Step 2, perfect squares. So let's go and try that. Okay, and so over here it's going to be t, and it's going to be a 4 and be a minus, right? So t squared will give you t squared. Negative 4 squared give you 16, and you multiply, you're going to get negative 8t, so match. Okay, so in this case we only have 1 point. Okay, we have only 1 point, is 4. So that means when you graph, you only have 1 point right over here at 4. Okay, that means the graph's going to look something like this. We just touch that. Okay, so again, when you have 2 points, it would be like this. Okay, when it's double, it will touch, will not go through. Right, it means your graph get moved up to, you only get 1 point. Okay, so now we have to look at this over here. So again, we're going to get y greater than or equal to 0, right? So anything above, you're going to get, okay? And you have to watch out for, this is a closed circle, right? Okay, so you're going to get this and this over here. So in this case, you got everything, right? The whole thing. So in this case, the answer would be all real number. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, we have 12 plus s minus x squared greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so first let's rearrange the terms. So it's kind of nice, you got 0 on this side, so rearrange terms. And again, I don't like the factor with a negative in front, so that's going to multiply whole thing by negative 1. So we get s squared minus s minus 12. Now when you multiply inequality, you have to change direction. Right? Negative 1 times 0 is still 0. But remember this part over here, you got to change direction. Okay, then you could do the factoring. Again, this is x squared now. So when you're ready to do factoring, this is x squared. So based on this one, it's going to be a smiling face. And when you're doing the factoring, okay, you have to add to get negative 1. You have to multiply to get negative 12. So start with 1 comma negative 12, 2 comma negative 6, 3 comma negative 4, and that's the one, right? So you have the s times s give you x squared, and you get plus 3 and minus 4. So your critical value, or the zeros, okay, your critical value would be negative 3 and 4. So when this is very obvious, you can just do this. If it's not obvious like this, right? If it's something like that, you have to set it equal to 0 and you solve. Okay? But this one, you can set it equal to 0 and solve too, but this is very obvious. You can see that's going to be just the opposite. Okay, so again, sketch it out. So you got negative 3 and 4, and it's going to be the smiling face. Okay, it's going to be smile. Okay. Okay, now again, you switch back to the y, right? Remember, y is a function of that. So y, you're looking for y less than or equal to 0. So when y is less than or equal to 0, is the lower part right over here. Okay. So in this case, so the s that you're looking for, the value you're looking for, be negative 3 is less than or equal to s, less than or equal to 4.